From scattered bands to city makers, humanity began to picture a wider world. At dawn, a young farmer in a river village rubs barley husks from her palms. Smoke lifts from a clay hearth. She tracks her harvest with clay tokens, the quiet breath of cattle in the yard, a steady rhythm to her life. This leap from foraging to farming drew people to the great rivers, where they built the first settled communities. Surplus from the fields fed growing towns, and these towns gave rise to law and writing in the fertile lands of Mesopotamia, the Nile, and the Indus Valley. From these cradles of civilization, new ways of thinking gathered force. In the East, teachers and seekers explored how to live in harmony. Confucian teachings brought order to family and state, while Buddhist paths promised inner release. In the West, Greek inquiry asked a fundamental question: what is our world made of? Law, story, and reason became woven into the fabric of daily life, ready to travel with merchants and conquerors. Soon, great faiths mapped meaning onto empires. Judaism guarded its covenant and memory. Christianity preached a universal message of salvation. Islam united devotion with a code for living. On caravan tracks and in bustling port bazaars, prices and prayers mingled in a single breath, building fragile trust between strangers. That ancient farmer's clay tokens would have felt familiar in a trader's tally centuries later. The world was shrinking. The Silk Roads stitched continents together. Monsoon winds timed the voyages of Indian Ocean sailors, and trans-Saharan caravans conquered the Great Desert. Along these corridors of exchange, powerful kingdoms rose and fell, and frontier towns learned to speak in many tongues. Far across the ocean, civilizations in Mesoamerica and the Andes built stunning cities, intricate calendars, and vast road networks, leaving their meaning etched in stone and woven in thread. The next horizon was now the sea itself. In the 14th century, the Black Death severed lines of trade and kinship, but from that devastation, it cleared the ground for change. A renaissance of art and inquiry stirred new ambitions. Printing presses multiplied knowledge. The compass and the caravel turned coastal charts into world maps. The Columbian Exchange began a vast, often brutal, transfer of crops, peoples, and microbes across the oceans. This history matters now because our modern world, our supply chains, our beliefs, our conflicts still echo those first global connections. At first light in Manchester centuries later, the mill doors groan open. A girl slips under a brick archway. The air is thick with cotton lint and the clatter of looms, a relentless iron rain. She waits for the whistle, then the foreman's bark. Steam and electricity had transformed the planet, forging a new world of industrial capitalism, sprawling cities, and revolutionary science. Nations grew stronger, empires laid railways across continents, and in the shadows of progress, people organized for their rights. 2 world wars shattered empires and redrew the map of the world, leading to an uneasy peace governed by new global institutions. A cold nuclear standoff defined decades, while movements for independence and civil rights reshaped what it meant to belong. But for every promise of progress, a question lingered: who was invited in and who was left behind in the dust? Today, we live inside that single humming web. From the code of our DNA to the code that runs our lives, we face new tests of what is true and how we care for one another. Global pandemics and a changing climate reveal with stark clarity that our fates are intertwined. History offers us a lens to see the patterns before they harden into destiny. Just ahead, a choice awaits us all. What common future do we dare to build next?